Hi, everyone. It's time to read our next 2 chapters in Jigsaw Jones' mystery, The Case from Outer Space. Chapter 9, Working the Case. It was a busy few days in room 201. We made many books about planets, we did art projects, and every day we watched videos about astronauts and space travel. Helen Zuckerman made a poster that compared the size of the planets with fruit. Mars was a blueberry, Earth was a strawberry, Saturn was a grapefruit, and Jupiter was the biggest planet. It was a watermelon. I don't think aliens were coming, but something was definitely up. On Wednesday morning, Mila and Danica searched the red basket of space books. They found 3 books from the list. 3 books that Miss Gleason got from the little free library. Strike 1. I lifted a piece of page out of the garbage. It had Miss Gleason's handwriting on it. That night, I compared it to the notes. They matched. The same ink, the same shape to the letters. Strike 2. After music, Mila was the first one back to class, and she saw Miss Gleason reading a book. "Hi," Mila said. Miss Gleason smiled, and she tucked an index card into her book and closed it. "Do you need anything?" Miss Gleason asked. Nada," Mila said. She had already gotten what she needed. More proof. Miss Gleason used random pieces of paper as bookmarks. Strike 3. Danica learned that Miss Gleason loves Doritos. That fact linked her to the orange dust. It wasn't proof, but our case was coming together. It was time to act. Here are some pictures. Do you think it's Miss Gleason? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Mila, Joey, Danica, and I stayed after class to have a little talk with our teacher. "Tell me, Miss Gleason," I said, "what do you think about mayonnaise?" "Excuse me?" "Some people like eating it," I said. "What about you?" I, she blinked a few times. "It's fine. I like it." "Aha," I said. I made a note in my detective journal. Likes mayo. "How about pickles? Do they tickle your fancy?" I asked. "Jigsaw, what is this all about?" she said. I placed the palms of my hands on her desk. I leaned in. "I'm working a case. You might be the key." "Oh dear!" Miss Gleason brought a hand to her mouth. "That sounds serious." Mila pushed forward. She handed the first note to Miss Gleason. "Does that look familiar?" "Oh, yes," she said. "Where did you find this?" "In a book," Joey said. Danica nodded. "Yeah, a book." "We want to know what's going on," I said. "Who is Starman? Why did you draw that picture?" "Yeah," Joey said. "And are little green aliens coming to take over the planet?" We all stopped to look at Joey. "Sorry," he shrugged. "I got excited." Miss Gleason smiled. "I can't fool you guys. It's about our very special visitor tomorrow from far, far away." "May I ask who?" I said. "You may ask, but I'm not telling." "You'll have to wait until tomorrow," Miss Gleason said. We heard a man's voice coming down the hall. "Last call for buses, everyone! Everybody out!" "Yikes!" Danica cried, and we raced out there like a lickety-split. There's Miss Gleason and the kids talking. "Oh, so we know it's about some special visitor tomorrow." That's what the notes were about. Chapter 10, a surprise visit. On Friday afternoon, everyone from grades 1 to 3 squished into the library. We buzzed with excitement. We faced the screen. Our librarian, Miss Ventura, tapped on the computer. Suddenly, a smiling face appeared on the screen. A gasp filled the room. "What do you think? Who do you think it is? What is it? Could it be aliens?" We were meeting a real live astronaut. "Hello, boys and girls," the astronaut said. I heard Lucy whisper, "Major Starman is a woman?" And she looks like my mom, Danica said. Greeting, Major Starman. We are so excited, Miss Gleason gushed. Thank you for taking time out to Skype with our students. Most of us here have never met an astronaut before. I know I'm thrilled. We have so many questions. Oh, it's my pleasure, Major Starman said. I love meeting young students. The visit flew by. Major Doreen Starman had been an astronaut for 15 years. She told us about floating in space. She called it zero gravity. And about her time living in the space station. Towards the end, String Bean asked, how do you take baths in space? There are no showers or bathtubs, Major Starman explained. In the morning, we squeeze a few drops of water from a tube into a towel. That's how we wash off. A third grader asked about going to the bathroom. I knew someone would ask that, Major Starman said. And with a wink, she said, bathrooms are private, just like on Earth. Next question. How do you sleep in space? Someone asked. Major Starman said that all astronauts have their own rooms called crew quarters. They're the size of a small closet. I keep photos of my family in there, personal things. It's too small for a bed. Remember, there's no gravity. We don't have to lie down. We sleep in sleeping bags tied to the wall. Oh my, I don't know if I could get used to that, Miss Gleason said, and she glanced at the wall clock. Oh, we're almost out of time. Who has a final question? Here's a picture of the kids asking Major Starman some questions. I wanted to ask about aliens. I wanted to ask, is there life in outer space? But I felt shy and embarrassed. It was easier to stay silent. Miss Gleason nodded at Mila. Is it hard to become an astronaut? Mila wondered. Oh, yes, Major Starman said, laughing. I am very lucky to have this wonderful job, but I also worked very, very hard in school. That's my advice, especially for you girls out there. The world needs more women scientists. Study hard. Dream big. Reach for the stars. Who knows? You just might get there. Walking back to class, Mila and I caught up with Joey. That was awesome, he exclaimed. Mila agreed. Reach for the stars? I like that. Dream big, Joey said. Just like I dreamed about becoming a detective. It came true. I put a hand on Joey's shoulder. Well, that closes the case. Too bad, no little green men from Mars. Oh, I owe you guys, Joey said. He started to reach into his pocket. I didn't want to see what he might pull out. No charge, I quickly said. Besides, we couldn't have solved it without your help. For real? Joey asked. Absolutely, I said. Are you sure you don't want any cheese? Joey offered. Totally, Mila and I said at once. We laughed all the way back to room 201. All right, chapter 11. This is the last chapter, The Stars Above. It was Friday night. My mom was out with her friends. My father sat in a chair, staring at his laptop. The case was closed. My puzzle was finished. There was nothing to do, and I laid on the carpet with rags and sighed. My father snapped the computer shut. What's the matter, Jigsaw? You seem blue. I don't know. I guess I never really solved the mystery, I said. He didn't answer. He didn't understand. Up there, I pointed to the ceiling, in space. Are we alone? He thought for a moment, tapping a finger against his lips. Give me 5 minutes, he said. Do me a favor, Jigsaw. See if Grams wants to come for a ride. Where are we going? I asked. To look for little green creatures from outer space, he said. But it's almost bedtime. Up to you, he replied. 15 minutes later, Grams, my father, and I walked out behind the high school. It was dark. I held the flashlight. My father walked behind me with Grams at his elbow. Watch your step, Mom, he said. We're here, he announced. I looked around. The flashlight beam slices through the darkness. Turn it off, Jigsaw, he said. The world went black. It was as dark as a closet. So? I asked. Look up. Graham said. The night sky was thick with stars. They seemed closer than ever before. If you want to go stargazing, you have to get away from the lights, my father said. It reminds me of a famous poem by Walt Whitman, Graham said. When he gazes in perfect silence at the stars. My father reached into his jacket pocket and he pulled out 2 small cans attached by a string. Let's try an experiment, he said. He told me to hold a can to my ear. Listen very carefully, he said. Maybe we'll hear aliens. He held the other one up to the sky. Well, any news? Graham said. Of course not. I said, it's just string and tin can. How am I going to hear aliens with this? Well, that's the point, Jigsaw. Every year, scientists learn more. They watch the stars with powerful telescopes. They listen for signals, and every year our machines improve. My father said, if there's life up there, someday we might hear it. But first, we might need to invent a really good telephone. Phone home, I said in my scratchy E.T. voice. My father pointed a crooked finger to the sky. Home, he said. We both laughed. Oh, hush, you two, Graham said. Just look at the stars. And so we did. We stood in an open field in the dark of night and gazed at the stars in perfect silence. That's the real mystery, Jigsaw, my father said. Are we alone in the universe? We don't know yet. It's a mystery that can't be solved, even by the best detectives. Not yet, I said, gazing into the night sky. Not yet. After a while, we headed to the car. My father led the way, and he took the flashlight. I walked with Graham's. She held my elbow. We went slowly. Careful, I said, and together we headed back home. The end. I hope you enjoyed the story as much as I do. I love you and I miss you. Bye, guys.